Time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
That broadcast school has really paid off.
And Christian Peck-Dimit.
Do you want to keep this job? Shut up, listen, learn.
The region's only local sports talk show, discussing it all from the preps to the pros.
What time is it? Game time!
Simulcasting on AM 730 Fox Sports Tri-State, streaming online at nwksradio.net and the Rockingham app.
They are everywhere.
The Blitz is presented by the Insurance Agency, the Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
Gomber staring at Tatis, comes to the plate, and Cronenworth drives it to left field, and on the run, Jordan Beck takes away extra bases.
1-1 to Beck, and it's hit a long way to left. Could be his first home run. It's gone! 2 hits in the game for Beck, a double, and now a homer. The first of his career. It's a 2-run shot. It's 7-0 Rockies.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him with a breaking ball, and that's the game. The Rockies complete a sweep of the Padres, get their first shutout of the year, and now have back-to-back series wins and a 7-game winning streak.
Cavs are out of fouls. Garland trying to check Tatum, 4 to shoot. Tatum looking for some daylight, and he buries it. Wade trying to stay in front of Tatum, who gets it to Horford in the corner, wide open. Boy, they were waiting for this kind of night from Horford.
Another offensive board slapped away by Green. Doncic is running. It's right down the middle for Doncic. Lob and slam! Gliding through the air, it's Jones with major elevation. Williams shaking back. Oh! That's a man's jam! Jalen Williams. The first half. A man's jam.
Love the call there. Yeah, Ian Eagle. With the call there on the NBA on TNT. Hey, good Thursday morning. It is the Morning Blitz on 102.5 URock, AM 730 Fox Sports Tri-State, of course, also online, nwksradio.net, the Rockingham app. Thank you so much for listening. Much while you're doing so, of course, catch the video stream online, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Ross Volkmer, Christian Peck-Dimit with you here on this glorious Thursday morning. Boy, beautiful day outside. Glorious. Sun out shining. The birds are chirping. Oh, my gosh. Just a beautiful morning. On our way to a high of 77 here on May the 16th. I'll tell you what, Christian, the thing that caught me yesterday after the show as I was uploading everything for podcasts, which, by the way, if you don't follow us on podcasts, you should. We are everywhere. You can catch us anywhere. But if you don't follow us on the podcast, but I was uploading the podcast yesterday and I typed in the date. It was like May 15th. Like May 15th. We are already at the halfway point of May. It's nuts to think about where we sit already here as it is May 15th. Absolutely crazy.
It really is. It makes me feel, I don't know, old's not the right. It was February yesterday. I already feel old. I don't think this has anything to do with it. And it's only going to get warmer very quickly, too. This weekend, the next couple of days go high of 85, 80, and 89. On Sunday, so it's just gonna get warmer, and maybe it'll actually feel like May pretty soon here.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna get warmer here rather quickly. That is for sure. So yeah, just get ready. Like I said, this is a big day today in local sports. The thing that I keep remembering is that school is out. Actually, for Goodland, school has been out since last day was Tuesday. So yesterday was a full day off of school. Today, of course, but today's a busy day for our regional athletes, for a majority of them. Of course, softball regionals will wrap up today over in Colby. Both Goodland and Colby will play. We'll have some thoughts on that a little bit later on in the program. Of course, the big day today is regional track today. 3A athletes, Colby and Goodland, will be going all the way to Beloit. The bus was getting ready to pull out from the school as I was heading into the show today. So everyone's got a long trip ahead. For regional track over at Beloit in what is a loaded, and I do mean absolutely loaded regional, where you have to place top 4. I believe it's top 4 if you're going to make the cut for the state tournament. You got to be top 4 as they take the top 4 placers in each event from each regional to get to 16. So it will be a very tightly contested and highly competitive regional there in Beloit. And in fact, we're going to get more on that coming up here in about 20 minutes or so with Ryan Mosier, head Colby track and field coach, going to join us. We'll talk with him about his thoughts on the Eagles and what to expect from them and what we might see going forward for this continuation of the track season. But a very busy day with regional track going on. 2A area athletes like Oakley and those schools, they'll be going to Hill City today. And then all of our 1A track and field athletes, they will compete on Friday. They are scheduled to run on Friday down in Tribune at Greeley County High School. So 3A and 2A today, 1A tomorrow. We'll see who can all punch their tickets to state. Usually it's around, when it's all said and done, when you combine all our area schools, close to about 100 athletes that give or take that sometimes qualify for the state tournament. State track meet. I don't want to say tournament, but state track meet. Anyway. How was your evening last night, Christian? Love the color of your shirt, by the way. Red is a wonderful color.
PGA starting tonight. It started already.
Already, man. Xander Schauffele, 2 under par through 4, tied for the lead.
Yeah, so we got the Tiger red on.
Not a good start for Tiger. 1 over.
We're not expecting him to do. It'd be great if you finished 1 over. I'll put it that way. But I went to men's night last night up at Meadow Lake Golf Course. I was not 1 over. I was maybe a little bit worse than that. Maybe a lot worse than that. Maybe more than 1 over after the first hole. Who knows? But yeah, played some terrible golf. Had a good time. Made some food. Watched some basketball. That's a perfect Christian night right there. It's a good time. How about Ross? What did Ross do this Wednesday?
Let's see. Last night, cooked supper, and then we had some friends of ours come over to the house. They have so kind of like a play date for the kids. So the adults sat on the back patio. Here was the thing. The adults sat on the back patio and watched the kids on the new swing set, that Ross built with the help of people. So we watched that all go down last night for a while. And
you cooked. What did we cook?
Pizza casserole is what I made yesterday. It's pretty delicious. It's pretty delicious concoction, if I do say so myself. So, so that was my evening last night. That was about it. That's all she wrote. But like Christian said, a lot of golf going on today. Of course, at the first round of the PGA Championship, there's a little senior local, I call it a tour to an extent. I got a call about this morning from listener of the show, Raleigh Halligan, but there's a little, it's a 2-man scramble. If you're over 50 years old, it's an open to come in. It's like an open senior tournament every Thursday, and it goes around kind of the region. They were in Ellis a week ago, I was told. Today, they're in Goodland golfing today. So they're expecting between 50 and 60 2-man teams to play today, and should be a beautiful day for it. Here in Goodland. And then I think next Thursday, they're going to be in Colby. So like I said, it's going to be, it's a great day to golf. I will not be golfing. That will not be something that's on my docket. I would love to be golfing, but with regional softball set to conclude or continue, regional softball will conclude here today. Hopefully no more rain delays. I don't need any more of those. And just to conclude that, wrap up today in Colby. So and then that'll we'll see. Depends on if some teams get on a roll and we have continuation into state, or if this is the end of the kind of the local sports season. We'll see how it rolls. But there you go. We got plenty to get to in today's show. We'll get to the MLB and the NBA. I don't know what's going on with the Rockies. I don't know what they're on, but I think they need to keep taking it. They are absolutely dominating. They sweep the Padres. They've won 7 in a row. We'll get to thoughts on Jordan Beck. Their rookie outfielder had a career game. We'll get to that coming up here as well. We'll try to get an NBA update squeezed in the back end as well. But I wanted to, before we bring on Ryan Mosier of Colby High School, talking a little track and field today for regionals, I wanted to talk about the NFL schedule release that came out yesterday and just some few thoughts that I had reading some information, in particular that have to do with the Chiefs and the Broncos. But Christian, I wanted to kind of let you go first. You had probably a chance to kind of comb through the schedule a little bit. Was there anything that really stood out to you, whether it was Chiefs, Broncos, heck, even the Lions, or just an overall thought on the schedule from the NFL, which, by the way, there is no better entity than the National Football League at finding ways to stay on the top of mind of sports fans. They are the absolute kings at doing so.
Yeah. Did you see basically, it was started a couple of years ago when teams started doing these videos.
Did you see that one I sent you?
No, which one was that?
Maybe I didn't say. Maybe I sent it to my other. I sent it to. It was from a couple of years ago. It was the Titans. They went out onto the main street there in Nashville, and they were interviewing the fans and they were holding up. I guess they were off camera. They were holding up a sign, and the people were like, "Oh, that's so and so team."
Guessing the logos.
And it was wrong. They were holding up the logo. Like, that's the Cowboys, and no, it was the Colts. And they wrote down like who it was with the logo. Oh my gosh, I could not stop laughing. It was so funny.
Yeah, so it was about then when they started doing these videos, and a smattering of teams like the Titans sort of got creative with stuff like that, and it is just ballooned from there. Now basically I think every single team has or had last night 8 Central or 7 Central a release video where they do something creative. The Chiefs had this press push down on a pneumatic press pushing down on whatever the logo might be. So if it was the Broncos, it was a little toy horse got crushed. Little toy Bronco got crushed by this, huge press. I think it was the Broncos had Lewis Hamilton is a partial owner, I think, of the Broncos, and famous F1 driver would like eat a famous dish from the place of the team that they were going to play that week. And just some sort of odd little like things that just exactly what Ross said, found the NFL finding ways to be creative and keep themselves at the top of mind, and not just say, all right, here's the schedule, but just
it's not also
make it
that
creative.
It's also spacing things out. Like, think about it. They released.
That's what you were talking.
No, you are right in your point. I'm adding to it, saying if you think about it, how they space things out as well, to add to the point on how well they stay on the top of mind of people. They space things out. Like here's one game that we're going to have. Here's what the opener is going to be. Hey, here's a couple of big games coming up on Christmas. Here's the schedule release. And just a couple weeks ago, don't forget, we had the NFL draft. They find a way to just stay on top of people's minds. That's why they are a $1 billion industry. And like I said, an entity that is just amazing at staying on top of people's minds, which is awesome. So
no, you're not wrong. Listener Michael is saying that he had a dog biscuit. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton had like a bite of a dog biscuit when it was the turn to release that they were playing the Broncos.
That was probably a cake dog biscuit would be my guess.
No.
It was a real dog biscuit?
He like took a little bite and was like, no, we're keeping that with I think Roscoe's the name of his dog. He's like, we're giving that to Roscoe. The NBA and the NFL do such phenomenal jobs of just like constantly being like, now we've got the draft, now we've got the combine, now we've got rookie minicamp, now we've got, for the NBA summer league and this and that, and it just like extends, and it's all the time. And maybe it gets annoying if you're not a fan of those leagues, but if you are, it's just constant. It's always in your ear, reminding you of something. I was a little bit surprised on the spread of primetime games. For local teams, the Chiefs got 5, not surprising at all. The most any team got was 6. 6 through 0. The Panthers have 0. 3 teams with 6. 5 for the Chiefs and the Lions, neither of which are very surprising. Broncos down at 2. No offense, Broncos fans. Also not super surprising that the Broncos got 2 primetime games this year, just based on how they played last year. Rookie quarterback could be, there's a big question mark on the Broncos season. So 2 primetime games makes a lot of sense. I was a little surprised with 2 things. One, that there are 3 teams with 6 primetime games each. That's the most of any team. 3 teams. Cowboys makes sense. Huge market, America's team with big quotation marks on there. The 49ers, also huge market, very, very good team, will continue to be that this year as well. And the third team with 6, the most of any team, primetime games, is the New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big market. I get it. It's New York, but
it's Aaron Rodgers too.
They're leaning on Aaron Rodgers to just snap his fingers and make this Jets team that struggled mightily last year with more or less the same roster, replacing Aaron Rodgers under center, just be worth 6 primetime games. That was a little surprising.
It will be fascinating to see how many wins Aaron Rodgers is actually worth, because we have a baseline, and now we'll see Aaron Rodgers of what,
because they got.
Is he worth 8 wins?
They got basically did the Jets the lowest possible win total they can get with that roster. And if anyone's going to get him to the highest, it's probably Aaron Rodgers. But 6 primetime games is surprising. The only other one that was a little surprising is the Packers at 5. Everyone else that has 5 primetime games, the Ravens, the Bills, Bengals, Lions, Chiefs, these are all teams that you expect to be worthy of 5 primetime games. Not that the Packers won't be. Kudos to them if they are. But on paper, I don't know if they're worth more than 3.
They're
Maybe
kind
that's
of
just the Lions fans.
The Packers are kind of your Midwest darling a little bit, though. So they're kind of like they're kind of like a minor league Cowboy team. I think there's quite a few people that I know that are Packer fans that are not anywhere around Green Bay. So I think that's kind of why that is. So. No, you bring up some great points. Here are some things that really stood out to me. This was couple of my biggest takeaways was there are so many games that are not on Sundays.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me, YouTube TV is trying to promote, NFL Sunday Ticket and watch NFL Sunday Ticket and get, right now you can get a certain amount of money off for the season. But the point is also becoming, why do you, unless you are a fan of the Jaguars and you live in Goodland, Kansas, why are you going to do that? Because honestly, you can catch almost every team at some point in time in the season, and they're going to be on so many different on holidays and so. I mean, you talked about primetime games, and the Chiefs only had 5. Well, the Chiefs have 8 games this year that are not on Sundays. 8. That's almost half of their games are not on Sundays, meaning they'll play on a Wednesday for Christmas. They're playing on Christmas Day against the Texans, I believe. Who's that against?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Playing against Pittsburgh on Christmas Day. That's going to be on Netflix. So to me,
which is already crazy. By the way.
I know, but that's probably my biggest point is how many games are not on Sunday. The NFL, we talked about it right off the tip of the show, how they love to find ways to stay on the top of mind. Well, no better way than that than putting a game on almost every single day of the week except for maybe Tuesday and usually Wednesdays, and then be there Thursday. There's going to be some Friday games. I mean, they're going to be on the top of mind. So why in the world would you go out and purchase an NFL Sunday Ticket package unless, once again, you are a fan of an obscure team and you want to see every single one of their games? Why would you do that? Because you're going to be able to see all these games. They're all over the place. They're on prime time on multiple different nights. That's the thing. It's no longer just Sunday and Monday. Now it is Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Friday, and sometimes Saturday, and even sometimes Wednesday. It's crazy to think. And the Chiefs are the biggest ones for that. That's actually probably the biggest takeaway from the Chiefs is that they rarely get a normal week during the season. They have so many games that are in odd places. And so that's going to challenge them as a team, as a franchise with that veteran roster. They're going to have to know how to get their bodies right on obscure weeks. They're not going to be able to be in really a routine. That could have an impact on them this year. It really could. That was one big takeaway I had from the Chiefs.
I absolutely agree. For those of you wondering, the Chiefs, their games not on Sunday go Thursday, Monday, Friday, Saturday, and even a Wednesday. It's that Christmas Day game. It really is every day. And we could fill a whole show talking about how to watch these teams now because it's getting ridiculous.
And that was my second point too. And you can take over from that. That was my second point, was that now you're going to watch the NFL on not just Fox, NBC, and ESPN, ABC. Now you're going to watch it on Prime,
Hulu,
Hulu, Netflix. Well, not Hulu. I'm talking like you have to subscribe to Prime to get games. You have to subscribe to Netflix to get games now. Hulu, that's like watching on ABC, NBC. So it's not like a personal channel. They've got games all over the place. Peacock is another one that you have to subscribe to get a game.
It is ridiculous, and we're seeing this sort of evolution of television and streaming, even outside of sports, where most of these streaming services have channels now. Releasing in a couple of months, if you go on to Netflix or Prime Video, you can click on the Avengers channel, that'd be a Disney thing, the Avengers channel, this channel, the horror movie channel, where they're just playing things 24/7 like channels. This idea that time is a flat circle and we're coming back around to just regular TV. We're almost getting that, except now it's more expensive because you have to buy it from 8 different sites if you want to watch your team play. Just to see the Chiefs, you have to get Prime Video. You have to get Netflix that you might not already have. ESPN, NBC, CBS, all of those different sites are going to have just the Chiefs. That's just to watch Kansas City. And if you want to watch no other teams, you have to get all of those different subscriptions. It's ridiculous. It's the way the world is working now. But to watch my teams, I don't want to have Netflix, have Hulu, have Prime Video, have Peacock, also regular freaking cable to get the CBS and the Fox and the NBC. It's wild.
That's just the way we've known this for the last few years, that this was the way it's going. The funny thing is that everybody got away from the fact that like DirecTV or Dish or cable, where you have all you'd pay $100 a month to have all your channels there. Well, then they started breaking away, and then, people were going to, because they wanted to select their own deal so that it would be a cheaper deal. And they went to that. Well, now, like you exactly said, you're having to buy to watch all these different things, if you're a sports fan, they really rake you over the coals. They really do. That's the hard part. If you're a sports fan.
And apparently NCAA, the football game, is going to be like $100. Crazy.
Is it really going to be $100?
There's like some special Heisman version where it's like $150.
Yeah, the special edition. They always make a special edition.
No, that version is going to be $150.
So the regular version's $100? I
think it's like $80 or something like that.
See, I could see it being $65. I think that's about the going rate. I think it's about $65. It used to be $50. I think it's $65. Look, it doesn't matter. I will be buying that game. It does not matter what it costs.
That's the problem.
I'll buy the $150. It doesn't matter. That game is my childhood.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. People want to watch their Chiefs. They're going to pay.
Exactly.
They're going to pay. I want to watch the Lions. I'm going to pay.
They rake you over the coals, and they get away with it because sports fans are like that. That's the way we are. And that's the amazing thing. And we could go on this topic for forever, but that's the amazing thing is that, I find myself like, if the Huskers are on, I'm going to watch. Like, I will sit down and I will watch. Probably like you with the Lions, for example. I'm not going to say the Pistons. That might be pushing it this year. But the Lions, you want to sit there and watch from beginning to end. All the other games, like, I just want to see a good game.
Yeah.
And I doesn't really matter who's on there. So if I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch it, it better be a good game. It better be entertaining. Because that's the thing. Like, you can watch any team you want. You can get any game you want. You just hope it's a good one anymore. Where it used to be where, hey, this is the only game on and I'm going to sit down and watch it. Now you're like, well, shoot, if this game's not good, I'm not going to watch it. I can go to watch something else. And that includes not sports if I don't want to. Yeah. Things have changed drastically over the years. So anyway, real quickly on the Broncos, as you said, so a challenging schedule ahead. They'll have the 13th easiest schedule, though, in the league, which is actually which is just one step ahead of the Chiefs, who have the 14th easiest schedule, according to ESPN. But the over-under for Denver is just 5.5 wins on their schedule this year. But people are predicting that they will be able to beat the Raiders for the first time, I think, in 16 times. They haven't been able to beat the Raiders. So we'll see. This year for Denver's all about Bo Nix and what he looks like, if they actually have something at the quarterback spot out of the draft for the first time since, John Elway? That'd be the first time since they've done it.
In the nicest way possible, I agree. You're not exactly staring down that win total if you're a Broncos fan. Maybe you are. You probably shouldn't be. looking at 5.5 and guessing which way or the other. You're probably just looking for an evolution in your offense.
Once again, the biggest takeaways from the NFL schedule, if you're not in a particular team, or that there are a ton of games that are not on Sunday and a lot of games just spread out throughout the week and on special holidays. And there are so many games that are now on streaming services like Netflix and Prime and all that stuff. Everyone's getting a piece of the pie, of this NFL billion-dollar pie, and they are using it to their advantage, and we'll see where it all goes. But that's the schedule. NFL release yesterday. Just a few thoughts on that. All right, we're way past due for a break. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Ryan Mosier's kind enough to spend some time and talk a little track and field with us next. He's the Colby High School track and field coach, as they're heading to Beloit currently to compete for regionals and for a chance to go to the state track and field meet. You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-710-5220. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-710-5220 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Good morning. This is Kate Thompson with the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Thursday, May 16th. And on the overnights last night, July corn traded higher, cent at 463.5. September up 1 1/4 at 474.5. December up 1 at 488, and March corn up 1 1/4 at $5. July soybeans on the overnights traded higher, 3/4 at 12.14 1/4. August up 3/4 at 12.17. September up 1 at 12.03 3/4, and November beans up 3/4 at 12.01 3/4. Chicago wheat on the overnight July contract traded higher, 10.5 at 676 1/4. September up 10 1/4 at 696 1/4. December up 10 at 719 1/2, and March soft wheat up 9.5 at 736 3/4. Kansas City wheat July contract up 11 1/4 at 686 1/4. September up 11 1/4 at $7. December up 11 1/4 at 720 3/4, and March hard wheat up 11 1/4 at 736. On the stock market this morning, the Dow down 6 at 40,033. The S&P down 50 cents, 5,332. The Nasdaq down 1 at 18,690. Gold lower $9.10 an ounce at 2,386. Silver up 6 cents at $29.79, and crude oil up 66 cents a barrel at $79.29. If you have any questions about marketing grain or would like to talk about risk management options, or in our Overland Park office, 913-748-3000.
There are a lot of inconsistencies when growing soybeans. The soil, the weather, the market. You need something you can count on, like Revitech fungicide from BASF. It consistently outyields other fungicides by up to 9.5 bushels per acre, consistently wins in on-farm head-to-head comparisons, and consistently makes for happy farmers. Revitech fungicide. Visit revxfields.com for full results. Always read and follow label directions. Yield data based on summary of 2019 through 2022 Revex field scale demonstration trials.
At Case IH, we know you work hard all year to maximize your yield at harvest. And to do that, you need a combine that works as hard as you do. That's why we built the new AF11 with more horsepower, more efficiency, and more capacity than any other combine out there. Plus, built-in automation to harvest more easily than ever before. To do more with every engine hour, you need equipment that's as good as you are. You need the best in your field. Visit your local Case IH dealer for more on the AF11.
Today, we're talking with aphids and whiteflies about Safina insecticide from BASF.
We just got nailed with it.
So tell us, how you feeling?
Really, really weird.
And you still want to devour this field?
No way, bro.
There you have it, folks. Safina insecticide is specifically engineered to disorient aphids and whiteflies so they can't eat. And when they can't eat, they can't destroy.
Help protect your sorghum from aphids with Safina insecticide. Always read and follow label directions.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery ingestion and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
It's the Morning Blitz.
What is this, amateur hour?
Weekday mornings from 7 to 8 Mountain, 8 to 9 Central on 102.5 U Rock and the Rocking M app.
Moving along on a Thursday morning, May the 16th. Once again, glad you're with us. No matter which way you're joining us, video stream, the radio, streaming, we're so easily available. Just tune on some sort of device, you'll find us. Waiting patiently on the phone line for us is our friend from Colby High School, head track and field coach, and also football coach Ryan Mosier, kind of to join us live from a bus. Coach Mosier, how was the bus here this morning?
Oh, not too bad. It's a pretty smooth ride. We're ready to roll. So.
Well, no, you are literally rolling down the road if you think about it. So
literally,
you're literally rolling down the road. How's things been? How has this track season been overall? It's your first year as the head coach there at Colby High School Track and Field. How do you feel like it's gone overall?
I feel like it's gone well. We hired a bunch of new people, and we learned on the fly, and it feels like it's all kind of coming together. So it's been a pretty good year to start, and kids are working hard, so it's really all you can ask.
How fun has it been to an extent to have kind of a new, younger staff that you guys have put together here this year for track and field?
It's really been a good time. We all kind of get along and have fun with it, and I think that translates throughout the team.
Ryan Mosier's our guest, Colby High School Track and Field. Overall, how would you grade this year so far? I mean, judging from kind of the outside looking in, you would say that this year, you have a couple of good runners, but boy, really the throwing has been the strength of Colby Track and Field this year. Why has the throwing been so good? It's because their throwing coach is good.
Yeah, listen, Mary Beth does a really good job with them. Just some really talented throwers coming through, and that's been pretty helpful. But team-wise, we've PR'd a lot, so that means there's growth, and so we've been happy with it.
How much growth have you seen when it comes to PRs throughout the season? And do you feel like as if today, like every track coach hopes for, that they'll be reaching that pinnacle?
Yeah, I mean, the idea is you go to regional and hope to hit your PR and peak at the right time and see where that lands you. But I feel like we've done pretty well. We've had a lot of them, and just that small growth throughout the year is really important.
Can you talk to us about some of the great throwers this year? Allie Flanagan's had a fantastic season this year in the javelin. Guy Tubbs has had a great year in the javelin. Brent Stanley's been very good as well in the discus and the shot. Can you talk about how good they and how much they've improved this season?
They've improved a lot, and that's just a testament to their work ethic and what kind of kids they are. And so, there's been a lot of growth there, but it's well-deserved. They've earned it.
Another athlete that's been really good this year for you has been Elizabeth Barton, particularly in the hurdles and stuff. How has she grown in her junior campaign?
She's grown a lot. We were a little bung up at the beginning of the year, and it's all kind of coming together for her. So hopefully we can peak today.
Ryan Mosier is our guest here from Colby Track and Field as they're on their way currently to the 3A regional in Beloit to try and punch some tickets to the state track meet. Boy, this is a loaded 3A regional in Beloit, isn't it? There's a lot of good teams and a lot of good athletes that'll be there. It'll be a difficult task for any team to try and get into the top four.
Yeah, it will be. The way we're kind of talking about it is is if you can make it through our regional, you're really prepared for state. And so just have to go out and compete and let the cards fall where they do.
As a track coach, what's the mentality? You know, like you're always like, you know, well, we want, of course, peak and PR when we're at regionals, obviously, but you know, as a coach, how do you go about getting prepared for that or preparing your athletes for that? Not only physically, but mentally, so that, you know, the moment, because they only really get, you know, a couple attempts, and in some cases it's one race to try and put themselves in a position to make this trip. How do you keep them all calm and be able to perform at their best, both physically and mentally?
Well, you know, you just have to compartmentalize feelings and be able to compete. You know, you have to practice hard, and then at practice get put in competitive environments and be able to rise to the occasion. So getting them ready mentally is probably the most important thing. You know, with the end of school and all that stuff happening, you just have to be able to stay focused and keep wanting to come to track. So that's kind of how we have to go about it. And then you just got to understand that the cards are going to fall where they fall.
Yeah, as long as you put your best foot forward, you can only do so much, and see how it all comes out there. I got to ask, personally, were you a track and field star in your day in high school up at Sargent?
I don't know if I'd call it a star, but I was out for track and field. You know, I was a thrower back then, but now I'm onto the jumps. So.
Yeah, how has that been? How has going from throwing to teaching the jumps been for you?
You know, it's been kind of fun. Coming from the small school I was at, where I coached for 2 years, I kind of had to be around it all. So I've done everything from pole vault to jumps to throws, and so I just kind of bounce around. But it's a fun sport to coach.
Coach, with those jumps that you're coaching, as of I think yesterday, or at least that's when it was posted, one of your many tubs, Boston, signed a commitment letter to Garden City Community College. How much pride do you feel in that? Obviously, coaching in both in football and in track, and then just to see any of your athletes sort of signed to go play at the next level.
Yeah, you know, that guy has worked hard for 4 years, and his dream is to go to a state meet. And you know, he's one of those kids that's a grinder, and he's a fun kid to be around. So, you know, I'm really proud of him, but he's earned what he's been given, and you know, I think he's excited to see what he can do today.
Coach, do you do much, I don't want to say scouting, but do you kind of look ahead to the competition and who might be where for your athletes, or is it just, hey, we're going to roll the bus in here and let's go do our best?
Yeah, you know, if you're going for team points, you're going to look at that. But at the end of the day, there's nothing we can really control. There's no scheme behind it. So you just have to let them see if they can give their best performance at the right time.
Well, there's one thing you certainly have no excuse for. It'll be the weather today. I think it'll be about perfect, right?
Yep, I think it's going to be great. So we're excited to get rolling.
Christian's got one more for you. What do you got, Christian?
Knowing that it really is sort of out of your control. I was ran not a star at all, but ran some cross country and track in high school as well. And it really is like that as a coach, where you know, there's only so much you can control. Is that more or less stressful than maybe coaching football, where there's a lot more maybe preparation or scheme is the word you use, sort of going into it? You know, how much is that sort of more or less in your head?
Well, they both have their own stressful things that go on with it. The nice thing about track is all the preparation happens before, and so when you get to the meet day, it is what it is, and you're pretty loose with it. You know, on the football side, you have to get ready all week, and then it's probably more nerve-wracking on game day. So they're kind of opposites in that way.
We'll let you go after this one. I can't really go a conversation with a football coach without asking something about football after a pretty darn good season last year on the gridiron. What's the plan for the summer, for the weight program, and what's the camp schedule look like for the Eagle football team?
Well, so we'll get done with state track, and then we'll have about a week, and then we're on to football camp season. So we're pretty loaded in the front side of June, but the thing I'm excited about is we had 20 freshmen come out, and if we can get them all in the weight room, we've really got some momentum started.
Where are you going for camps this summer?
We're going to go up to Hastings, Nebraska again. That's our summer camp that we like.
What do you like about that camp?
So our defensive coordinator played up there. We have a few Nebraska guys on our staff, so it's just something we're comfortable with. We know the coaches there, and they've been really good to us in the past.
Understandably so. Once again, head coach of Colby Track and Field and also the football head coach. That's Ryan Mosier on their way to the 3A Beloit Track and Field Regional. Good luck today, Coach. Appreciate the time. Enjoy the rest of the bus ride, and good luck to you and the kids today.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Once again, that's Ryan Mosier, a man sometimes of many words, but he was there with us talking about some track and field. That's the thing about track and field, and in particular this day. You could have the greatest regular season of all. You could be a top, we'll just say, discus thrower in the state. But if you go out there and you scratch a couple of times and you only throw an average throw and not what you usually throw, or a below average throw because the pressure's on, you can miss the state track meet. That's the frustrating thing. That's the hard part.
It is it can be frustrating, and it is often very stressful for these athletes because it ends up being one of the sports, it's not the golf's level, but where it's so much between the ears because in the case of throws, you have 2 or 3 tries, hopefully 3 tries, no, scratches or anything. And in the case of running, you got, you have one shot.
Well, yeah, you have one shot. And like if you jump the gun, bang bang, that's it. You're done.
Mm-hmm.
You can't false start today.
It can be all over very, very quickly. Obviously, in the case of sprints, and we're not saying anything new here, but especially at the high school level, to have a sport that is so finite on one moment. And all between your ears, or mostly between your ears, it can become very stressful, certainly.
Yeah, it's just fascinating to see who can perform the best, both physically and mentally, on a day like today, where it all comes down to a couple of races, a couple of jumps, a couple of throws. We'll see. By the way, I forgot to mention, he's talking about the jumpers for Coach Mosier. One of them, that's a big one. Of course, Guy Tubbs is a good jumper, but I think Guy's in the high jump, isn't he? I think he is.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's in the high jump. He'll be a big competitor this year in that. We can't forget about the great Casey Giesenhagen, one of the great names in Northwest Kansas, Casey Giesenhagen. He'll be in the long jump, so looking for see if he can make the jump there. And like I said, Colby's going to have some great athletes. Goodland's going to have some good ones as well. Coming up, of course, we're going to see if Lincoln Cure, can he go 4 for 4? Can he make it in 4 events? I think he's got it. The 110s, the 300s, maybe in a relay. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. And that's the one thing about Coach Stout. We talked with him prior, how he's put guys and girls in different events, trying to exert them a little bit more. Now you're coming back to your safe zone, your event that you want to try to go to state in. How does that help you peak? So, like Lincoln Cure, Noah Chanette in the long jump, for example. You've got, oh my goodness, Chayton Goodwin in the running events and how good he's been this year for Goodland. There's plenty of other ones. Jackson Mitchek, Marie Martin. How do they go out and how do they perform today at the 3 originals? Of course, there's tons of other great athletes around the region in 2A. Justice Booker in the shot put and discus for Oakley. They've got some really, really good athletes all around that we'll see if they can make it to the state track meet today with 3A and 2A getting going. All right, there you go. Plenty of pressure today. Good luck to all the track and field athletes. We wish you the very best. Jump high, jump far, run fast. All that good stuff. All right, let's get to a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show with a quick NBA and MLB. What is going on for the Rockies? What is happening? I don't know what they're on, but I want some of it. That's next here on the Morning Blitz.
Scott Gaywith gave his wife some bird seed. She says, well, how do I plant these? Well, planting time is here, and Scott at Gaywith Fertilizer and Seed of Oberlin now is your Golden Harvest dealer. And for a limited time, buy 2 sacks and get 1 free of quality Golden Harvest corn seed. Yes, Golden Harvest, and Scott still carries Alta corn and sorghum seed. Ask about other specials like their free financing available until December 1st. Shaw Gaywith Fertilizer and Seed rule Oberlin, Kansas, putting more profit in your pocket. You're going to save a bundle on meat bundles from the Black Eyed Beef Company in Goodland. 3 different specials as low as $40, like on their bacon and ground sausage package. Choose from lean hamburger, or they have that brats and hamburger patty package. You're going to find the Black Eyed Beef Company on Facebook with specials, delivery information, a full menu, and great recipes. From the farm to your grill, it's the Black Eyed Beef Company at 1516 Main Street, downtown Goodland. Hey, remember they carry Gove County grown lettuce from 4B Farms.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, it's Brian Haney, the voice of the Jayhawks, and you're listening to my main man, Ross Volkmer. He may be a Husker, but he also knows how to rock chalk. And you're listening to the Morning Blitz right here on 102.5 You Rock.
What is going on with the Colorado Rockies? The Rockies, the last place team in the NL West, has apparently found something that's going to work for them, as they have found a way to sweep their second consecutive opponent. They swept the Rangers this past weekend. They take down the Padres. They blast them yesterday, 8-0. How about the performance of the rookie, Jordan Beck, hitting in the 9-hole, 3 for 4 with a run and not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 RBI for Jordan Beck, the left fielder. He also gunned out. Also had a great, amazing catch early in the top of the second, and he doubled up. I believe it was Manny Machado. Austin Gomber goes 6 strong innings, allowed just 2 hits. He was masterful. In fact, it was just 4 hits for the Padres in the entire game yesterday. But the Rockies have now won 7 in a row. There's some really fun stats that I'll try to pull up here real quickly. There's some really fun stats with the win for the Rockies that, you just kind of shake your head and think, boy, times have been tough is what you think of. But let's see here. The Rockies, of course, 3-game sweep, 7th straight victory. It was the first time that Colorado, which has won 6 road games all season, swept a 3-game set at San Diego since 2013. Some more fun stats for you for the Rockies who win, and they get a much-deserved day off. They got to feel maybe they don't even want a day off. When you're like this hot, you're like, we just want to keep playing. But they have a day off, and then they go to San Francisco to take on the Giants starting tomorrow night. And as for the Royals, a 4-2 loser to the Mariners yesterday. Once again, we talked about that Seattle pitching and how they kind of kept the Royals bats at bay. If it wasn't for Bobby Witt, who had a couple of RBI, it would have been a goose egg on the board for Kansas City. But Alec Marsh got kind of roughed up by Ty France a little bit, but a 4-2 loss. Royals lose that series 2-1. They're back home at the K this weekend for a 3-gamer against the Athletics. But yeah, I don't know what the Rockies are on, but I'll take some.
No, for real. And this winning streak, however impressive it has been, has almost doubled their win total, which is
that's amazing.
Hilarious. They had 8 starting, 8 going into this win streak. They now have 15. Just ridiculous. And it's been a little bit of everything in each game. You see a game like last night where they've just crushed it with their pitching, giving up, I think, just 4 hits all game. Yeah, 4 hits all game. And 8 runs isn't, something to laugh at either. It's been a little bit of everything for the Rockies just suddenly being great. But the pitching, I think, is most surprising.
Real quickly, minute NBA update for us, Christian. What's the latest?
Celtics finished the gentleman's sweep over the Cavs, who were without both Jarrett Allen and Donovan Mitchell. Now it sort of sends the Cavs into an interesting offseason where they may fire their head coach. Darius Garland may want out. They may or may not re-sign Donovan Mitchell. The Celtics finally get Jason Tatum to make more than 2 threes in a game. He has not made more than 2 threes in a game this entire postseason. And despite the fact that he is shooting tour dates, Boston has shut out and crushed and demolished everyone in their path because their team is just that good. The Mavericks, meanwhile, get that coveted 2-2 tied series Game 5 win. It was one of those gritty Dallas wins that they seem to be known for this postseason. Doncic with a 31-point triple-double. Luka was awesome. More than that, PJ Washington, who had just 10 points, also had 10 rebounds, was really good, especially in the second half of this game. Dallas putting themselves in a great position to move into the Western Conference Finals.
Speaking of that, will the Nuggets punch their ticket to the Western Conference Finals tonight? We will see. Denver at Minnesota in Game 6. It's a winner stay home for Minnesota at this point in time. We'll see. The Nuggets have looked unbelievable in their last 3 games. Will that trend continue? All right, let's get to the walk-off.
A 3-run walk-off home run. A game-winning walk-off with a walk-off.
His second walk-off hit of the season.
In walk-off fashion. That baby's go.
Regional softball will wrap up today at Young Memorial Field in Colby. Both Goodland and Colby have some tall tasks ahead of them here in the semifinal round. Of course, Colby has to take on the top seed and unbeaten Holcomb Longhorns, and of course, facing off against pitcher Corinne Johnson, the first-team All-Stater with over 800 career strikeouts. It will be a challenge. I'm not going to say it is impossible, but it will be a challenge to get a win against Corinne Johnson and Holcomb today. They are the overall favorite to win this regional. And then you've got Goodland and Cimarron, which we'll have coverage of that game starting at 3:40 Mountain Time. Cowgirls played well down at Cimarron, but still lost. Cimarron has got a great sophomore pitcher and Quinn Campbell. They have 3 girls that can absolutely mash. And we'll see if Allie Cure can find a way to avoid those big bats in the lineup. It'll be on her to keep the run total low so that the Cowgirls can find a way to score some runs against Quinn Campbell, who, by the way, has like a 1.1 something ERA. It's microscopic. So it will not be easy for neither Goodland nor Colby today, but that's why they play the game. We'll see. Coverage starting at 3:40 Mountain Time with Goodland Cowgirls softball. By the way, update from the PGA Championship right now. Victor Hovland, Xander Schauffele, and Jordan Spieth tied at the top at 3 under par. Did you take Scotty? Is that who you're taking? Is that you put your money on?
I've got a little bit of money on Scotty, a little bit of money. I've got nobody to win. I've got some top 5s. Tied up there at 3 strokes below is also Doug Gim.
I take Hovland. See you tomorrow on the Blitz.
KKCI, Goodland Colby.